The night of the kingdom's founding festival. Before 1,000 nobles, the crown prince pointed at his own fiancée and declared, "Silyana, our engagement is over." And that very night, though not a single soul noticed it, every stalk of wheat in the kingdom began to wither. Silyana, daughter of a marquis, carried a secret. The moon's blessing passed from grandmother to mother, from mother to daughter. Every full moon, in absolute secrecy, an ancient ritual breathed life into the kingdom's soil. Never boast, child. A blessing is strongest when it flows in silence. She kept that teaching. Even after becoming the crown prince's fiancée, she never told anyone why the harvests never failed. Then, a saint appeared. Lisette. When she raised her hands, blinding light split the sky, and the people went wild. A miracle you could see, stole their hearts far more easily than a blessing you couldn't. It stole the heart of Crown Prince Edric as well. Compared to you, my fiancé is so dull and plain. 1 week before the festival, the cathedral's holy relic vanished. It was found in the drawer of Silyana's room. Who put it there, and why, was painfully obvious. And so, on the night of the festival, branded a thief, she was sentenced to a broken engagement. She was not allowed a single word in her defense. For stealing the kingdom's grace, you shall pay with banishment. Silyana did not cry. She only whispered quietly as she passed through the gates. A blessing cannot be forced. Soon, they will understand. The carriage arrived at the kingdom's northernmost frontier. A cursed land of 10 straight years of failed harvests. The perfect dumping ground for a criminal. The master of that land was the Black Wolf of the North, Duke Kalen. On the battlefield they called him a demon, and no one alive had ever seen him smile. Criminal or noble lady, I don't care. In this land, those who don't work, don't eat. Silyana never complained. She helped old Margot the housekeeper till the fields. And on nights of the full moon, just as before, she knelt where no one could see. This was not the kingdom that threw her away. But the starving people here had done nothing wrong. May the blessing reach this land too. 3 days later, from soil that had been dead for 10 years, sprouts broke through. It can't be. Your Grace. The fields. There are sprouts in the fields. Kalen was not a man who believed in miracles. But he was sharp. Sharp enough to notice that at the very center of the sprouting fields stood that woman's cottage. On the next full moon, he saw it with his own eyes. The criminal the kingdom had discarded, bringing the land the kingdom had discarded back to life. Kalen never interrogated her about her secret. Instead, he said this. A housekeeper's post is far too small for you. I want to entrust every blessing of this land to you. Half a year passed. The north transformed beyond recognition. Dead earth became golden seas of wheat, and the people who had fled came home. At that same moment, the capital was the exact opposite. The worst famine in history. The granaries ran empty, and the price of bread rose tenfold. The people clung to their saint. Lisette poured out her dazzling light, but not a single grain of wheat came back to life. It was a miracle that did nothing but shine. Why isn't it working? Evening in the north. Somewhere along the way, the stone-faced duke had grown used to the place at her side. The kingdom threw you away. And yet. I could almost thank them for it. It was then that Silyana learned, for the first time, how warm a blessing could be, when it no longer had to be hidden. Meanwhile, a strange report reached the capital. The whole nation was starving, yet the north alone was enjoying a record harvest. What in the world is in the north? Investigate at once. The investigator's answer was a single line. The banished former fiancé is there. Only then did a chill run down Edric's spine. Instead of an apology, the crown prince appeared in the north leading a royal procession. Officially, an inspection. His true purpose was one thing only. Silyana. I shall restore you as crown princess. Return to the capital. On the face of the man she hadn't seen in half a year, there was no remorse. Only desperation. You framed me as a thief and threw me out. And now you want that criminal as your princess? When words failed him, the prince reached out to grab her. In that instant, a black blade stopped before his throat. Lay a hand on a guest of the north, and I will cut you down, royal or not. Just then, Lisette burst out from the procession. She raised her staff high, as if to prove a saint's majesty. And in that moment, you are the fake. I'll show you the power of a true saint. The overheated staff shattered into pieces. And what rolled across the ground was not the power of a god, but an expensive magic artifact core, still spitting light. The saint's miracle had been nothing but a stage light bought with gold. Silyana quietly raised her hand. No words were needed. All the way to the horizon, a silver wave answered for her. A true blessing does not shine. It simply grows. The crown prince fell to his knees. On the very same snow, where she had stood half a year ago. I'm begging you, the kingdom is starving to death. Please, come back. Silyana had no intention of forgiving the royal family. But her blessing had never belonged to the throne. It had always belonged to the people. So instead of mercy, she named her price. Depose the crown prince. Put the false saint on trial. And proclaim the truth to the entire kingdom. Do that, and I will return the blessing to your people. 1 month later, for the first time in the kingdom's history, the royal family issued a public apology to a single noblewoman. Edric was deposed. Lisette stood trial for fraud. And when spring came, Silyana became Duchess of the North. The ritual she had once performed in hiding was now a festival the whole land celebrated together. I'll spend the rest of my life thanking the kingdom that threw you away. A blessing is strongest when it flows in silence. But a blessing that is loved turned out to be stronger still.